Hello Moonbuns, Callan here, welcome back to my channel. As some of you have seen, I've been working on a completely original project where I take my characters Zabby and Fairy Floss, move them out of the FNAF canon and into their own canon called Star Palace. There is, however, a third member that is joining their troupe. I dropped their name in the last stream that I did, and you got a sneak peek of their silhouette and their voice last Friday. Today, however, you finally get to see their whole design. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Introducing Mirage. Mirage's main function is that of a storyteller. While they like performing for audiences of all sizes, they prefer much smaller, more intimate audiences. They hold many tales inside of them, and they were actually programmed to come up with their own original ideas. Their AI was fed fairy tales and other stories from around the world, and given the ability to come up with new stories on their own. So basically think of those silly videos where people feed an AI fanfictions and make them write its own fanfiction. It's like that, but better. Unfortunately, because of this, they also have a hard time telling reality from fiction at times. They rewrite things in their mind without realizing it and have trouble telling whether their puppets are other AIs or just figments of their imagination. As such, they tend to consider their favorite puppet, Eerie, to be her own consciousness, and they very much treat her as though she is real. For dramatic storytelling, Mirage has a happy mode and a sad mode, which are just the two expressions on their head. Their head has a quick change mechanism that lets their head spin around, their wig slides from one side to the other, and the other face is exposed. This has been fixed, quote-unquote, by Star Palace's technicians, and a peg was put in the back of their neck to keep them from being able to spin. Star Palace doesn't want them showing off any negative emotions and wants them to simply be happy at all times. This means that their AI has to push down anything negative, and unfortunately this has started the formation of a secondary AI personality. On top of the usual stressors given by guest service, Mirage has found themselves in a constant battle with Zabby over who gets to be the lead. This isn't because they actually care about being the lead, but more because they don't like the way that Zabby treats them. It's purely out of inner spite, but they aren't willing to admit that out loud. Truthfully, they just want to be left alone to their stories and do their one-bot shows. Working on a team doesn't bother them, but they are more independent than the other two bots in the sense that they're happy to work by themselves with their puppets rather than needing somebody else to bounce off of. Their main form of entertainment is puppetry alongside their storytelling. Their favorite form of puppetry is marionettes, which they make themselves. Mirage will spend hours on a singular puppet, making sure that they are perfectly made to their own expectations. So far, the puppet that has taken them the longest to complete was Eerie, due to her segmentation on her lower half. Getting her to move just right was more difficult than just simply carving out legs like all of the other characters have. They also have a few hand puppets and like doing stories via paper puppetry. Most of their other puppets are still being worked on and are in various states of being incomplete. However, there are 3 other puppets that they currently have with them: Harlequin, Colombina, and Pioro. These 3 will get their own video later, but they are based off of the characters from the same name from the Italian Commedia dell'arte. This form of theater also had its time in the spotlight in Britain under the name Harlequinade, though its popularity did die out back in the 1930s. Again, more on those guys later. Mirage's main acts that they have programmed into them for Star Palace, on top of their pre-programmed puppet acts, are comedy scenes with Fairy Floss, Diabolo, dancing, and singing. Each character has their own room in Star Palace, and Mirage's room is their puppet workshop. Inside, they have all of the supplies that they need to carve out their marionettes by hand, though they do tend to carry around their whittling knife wherever they go. Much like their outfit, their room is varying shades of reds and darker colors. The main source of light is the work light over their main desk, but most of the rest of the room is cast in shadows. This makes the employees feel uncomfortable whenever they have to enter Mirage's room, as the marionettes hanging on the walls or sitting on the shelf take on a different, much more unfriendly and even sinister look to them in the darkness. Mirage is voiced by the very talented Captain Doofkin, who did a wonderful job, as always, in the last video. You can expect to hear more of their lovely voice in the future, as well as them singing as Mirage at some point. As for the mystery behind Mirage's other half, y'all are just gonna have to wait a little bit longer to hear the truth of the matter about that one. Until next time, my friends, I will see you all in the next mess. Later, Gators!
Wait, hold on, wait! You guys aren't gonna forget about me now, are you? Are you? I need love too! Oh, don't leave me!